Hey everyone, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. With warmer weather on the way, Specs experts are here to help you raise a glass to spring with seasonal savings on all of your sunshiny cravings. Pop into Specs College Station for great deals on the season's hottest sips. David Nuno, Royce Hickman, Blake Chilton, the Fan Show guys here breaking it down. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to go with Blake. It's been the longest for you to be on the show. What was your favorite part of the show?
Man, I love talking about Aggie basketball.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about today at 2:30, just the chance of a little bit of redemption and getting to knock the Sips out of tournament contention. So
yeah, I like that.
What
about yours?
Talking about Wade Taylor.
Wade Taylor, what was your favorite part?
Yeah.
Today on the show, we had Coach Earley in studio. That was good. You'll want to listen to that. We had David Cobb, CBS Sports college basketball lead expert there. We had Brian Barone, who played at A&M, is now coaching, and he's got his team, SIU Edwardsville, into the NCAA tournament for the first time ever.
And what a great interview.
Thank you very much.
It was a great interview.
Very kind of you. He was awesome. And we have Luke Evangelist. He was okay. And Olin Buchanan. All that and more. It's the Rewind.
How do you see? Does Texas have to beat A&M to get into the tournament? And is that even enough?
I would be of the opinion that Texas needs to win this game and then most likely keep winning. Now, I noticed some of the bracketologists last night, have bumped Texas up to first four out territory, which would suggest that one more victory might be enough when it's going to be a quad one win, potentially over Texas A&M if they get it done today, right? Like you might think that'd be enough, but the thing you got to factor in and realize here is that over these next few days, there could be a couple of bid thieves emerge from around college basketball. Look at the American Athletic Conference, for example. It's a competitive league, but Memphis is the only at-large candidate in that conference. So if North Texas were to win that conference tournament, well, now all of a sudden the AAC is getting two bids, and one of those last four in teams, like a Texas, gets bumped down a spot. So I'm not saying it's inconceivable that a win gets the Longhorns in today, but I would highly recommend that they win today and then keep winning if they want to go dancing.
Well, we'll root for the Aggies, and then we'll also root for the Mean Green just to make sure have some insurance. So I don't know how much bracketology you do, but where would you project A&M on the seed line? Because I've seen a number 2, I've seen a 3. The SEC we're hearing is like the best conference ever. So when you take all those things into consideration, A&M's got a lot of quad one wins. Well, how would you see the Aggies?
Yeah, I kind of looked at it a little bit before I hopped on here with you guys because I figured we might get into it. And, if they lose today, I'd say 3. I'd say it's a 3 seed. That would be my estimation based on the body of work that they put together. I mean, the number of quad one victories, the absence of bad losses. I mean, that sums it up right there. There aren't a whole lot of teams out there that have the volume of high caliber victories without some of the ugly losses. I mean, you guys remember a few years ago now when they got left on the wrong side of the bubble. Well, they had a couple of quad 3, quad 4 type of deadly losses. You don't see those on the A&M resume this year.
Friend of yours, Rob Vaughn, coming in this weekend. Just talk about your history with the Alabama head coach and then the kind of squad he's bringing in.
Yeah, Rob, when I signed with the White Sox and went to rookie ball, Rob was already on the team. He had been there for a year. And just a good guy, like really good guy. One of those guys, like he was just backup catcher, knew he wasn't even a player but wanted to coach. And I played in the game with him his last game. I remember he hit a double, got taken out of the game. We all signed the lineup card. I remember like being two-part feeling like I want to be a big leaguer and I want to be a college baseball coach. And he was leaving to go be, I believe, the volunteer at Kansas State, and I was so jealous. But part of me is like, kind of jealous, but I'm still going to be a big leaguer. But just a great guy. I mean, great guy. He's done a phenomenal job, proven. What he did at Maryland was pretty crazy. If you go look at I think they didn't lose a Big Ten series for like 2 or 3 years, and got used to the SEC. He's been in the offseason would give me advice and just kind of pop in here and there, and he's a good dude. I mean, he'll be my friend except for these next few days.
Well, he's got a good club, right?
Yeah, he got good players. I mean, I think they got guys with experience. They had some guys that played last year that are back in it this year. They got some good arms. That program was in a decent spot before the turnover, and then he's done a really good job of just keeping it where it's at and then actually building off of it.
Not trying to get you to give away the scouting report or anything like that, but how do you get a guy like Justin LeBron out?
get the guys.
I
out
like our. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. You like our arms and the matchups, and I think he's hit 11 home runs. 10 have been off right-handers. So we got some lefties going for it. He's super talented. I don't think it matters. I'm guessing the reason he's only hit 10 is because he's probably faced way more right-handers than left-handers. So yeah, you just trust your stuff, trust your guys. He's going to hit some balls hard. You just hope they're not in the right moments, and for the most part, hope they go right to somebody. So really, really good player. I mean, really fun to watch. Definitely like watching him more when we're not playing against him. But
Before I let you go, what do you think about the job Buzz has done with the Aggie basketball program?
He's done a great job. I mean, he and I were together at Marquette. So I worked with him at Marquette for about 9-10 months. And actually, he'd hired me at Marquette. I stayed on his staff for about 2 weeks. And I ended up going with Coach Crean to Indiana. My wife was right from there. And, you just kind of, obviously me and Coach's history, I decided to go there. But Buzz and I have known each other since then. We were going to play this year. Actually, on December 7th, we had an agreement to play. My team come down there because I never got in Reed Arena. That thing broke in front of me one day. And I think my dad still had the shovel 8 years later that was supposed to be built. But they ended up going in like their Vegas tournament or something like that, and some things fell through. He's done a great job. He's got an identity. He's got a culture. They play a particular kind of way that you're playing a Buzz Williams team, and it doesn't shock me because I saw Buzz, behind the scenes for those 9 months, very organized, coming from New Orleans, very detailed. So. I love seeing his success. I hope I can get down there next year. We talked about maybe coming down there next year and playing, and I hope he has a ton of success next year. Other than that one game, I don't want him to be too successful.
Well, I'll let you go on this. You mentioned Tom Crean, and full circle moment. Wasn't he on the broadcast for you the other day when you guys won?
How about that?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, you couldn't even written it out of it, a script out of it. I texted him, just, hey, do you have any advice coming in? We got 2 games, coach. Like, give me something to talk to this team about. And he's like, I'll be there on Saturday for the Westwood 1 championship game. And I just was like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't know what he's talking about, really. Not putting it, I thought it was like a golf tournament. I just wasn't even thinking what he was doing. And he walked through the lobby. I was like, Coach. And we talked for about 20 minutes the day of my semifinal game. And he's like, well, I'm going to have the championship game. I'll be calling your game tomorrow. Let's go get this. And about 2 minutes left in the game, I looked across the court and I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, this is my college coach, the guy who hired me several times, and he's calling my championship game to go to the NCAA tournament. And I was like, that's pretty darn cool, man. So it was special.
Yeah, and when you talk about being in a different position, I think A&M knows the position that Texas is in very well. They've come into a conference tournament on the bubble, whether that be on the right side of the bubble last year or on the way deep end of the bad side of the bubble a couple of years ago. And Texas has themselves positioned as the first team out, according to Joe Lunardi. So this is essentially a win in their in-game for the Texas Longhorns. And I think it's almost poetic justice that the team that has the opportunity to stop them is Texas A&M. And when you talk about righting a wrong, no matter who they were going to play, it was either going to be Vanderbilt or Texas. Both games, A&M wanted them back. I know against Vanderbilt, I don't want to say it was uncharacteristic offensively, but defensively, you let Tyler Nickel have a career game. They couldn't stop anyone late. I know they made the late comeback to make it a 1-possession game, but Vanderbilt had control of that entire second half. And A&M takes pride in their halftime adjustments and the team that they are in the second half. So you wanted the Vanderbilt matchup back for one reason, and I think you want the Texas matchup back for a whole bunch of reasons. One, it's your rival, and you get to settle the 1-1 even score. But 2, the last time you played, you're absolutely right. It was one of their best first halves of the season. They came out with a double-digit lead. They tied their record for the most threes made in a half with 8, and they looked unstoppable. It looked like they were going to run away and win by 20-plus again. And uncharacteristic is a great way to put it. Texas beat them at exactly what A&M wants to do to other teams. A&M was worn down. They didn't get to the free throw line, and they made all those threes, but it didn't matter because they couldn't hold a lead late. And so you want to right that wrong. And the fact that you add on to it that it's their bitter rival, and no matter what happens in this game, Twitter, X, any social media, any in-person interaction, any conversation centered around the state of Texas basketball is going to be brought up about what the result of this game is, because you either get to end Texas's season or you get to extend it by sending them to the NCAA tournament. A&M had that opportunity in Austin. Texas was essentially dead in the water. Beating A&M revived their season and put them back on the positive side of the bubble. So A&M gets to right that wrong and ultimately has the chance to not only send Texas home, but hopefully lock up a 3 seed, which would be their highest ranking and seed in program history. It would tie.
All right, gentlemen, I want a little back and forth. Tell the people what to do. You go first.
Okay, subscribe,
Like.
share.
Ooh. What else is there to do?
There is
Comment.
comment.
Watch.
Yeah, tune in,
Yeah.
comment.
Watch.
Tell your friends about it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Write a letter to your granny.
Right.
Like whatever.
Right.
Like, you know. Like I
And have
can't.
your kids sit down and watch it and listen. And
By the way, I didn't say granny because Royce was here. I can't write a letter to my grandma either. So I'm just saying. Like it was just saying. All right. We'll see you next time.